Hey everyone, back to working on the 272 XP. I got my cylinder porting complete. Cylinder cleaned up not too bad. There's a couple of little spots I can see, but she's an old cylinder, so I got my ports beveled and polished. It's one thing I can't stress enough. If you're gonna port saws, make sure you go around your ports. Make sure you chamfer. The exhaust is the most important so that you don't catch a ring. And then go around it with, I use like a round diamond carbide tool, and I create the chamfer, and then I use 600 grit and I go around those ports for about 15-20 minutes and shine them up. So there we go, cylinder porting is done. Where's my carb? Just rebuilt the carburetor. Tillotson 260A. That's a nice big carb. I'm gonna put a brand new intake block. You got to be careful of these intake blocks do leak. You got to make sure you replace the gaskets. Notice let's get this to line up. Right there. There we go. I ground out the intake to match the block. There was a lip right at the top, kind of like that stock. So little things like that can amount to big things when you put them all together. So there we go. I will keep on going. The completed intake system should look like. So you have gasket, intake block, gasket, carb. One thing I'm going to say, these intake blocks are known to crack. So if you got one that looks kind of funky or it's discolored, really take a good look at it, because if you got a cracked intake block, you're going to have a leak. And then the other thing is aftermarket seals for this area. They're not all created equal. I do use them from time to time. A lot of them are fine, but just make sure when you line that up, make sure that the holes are in the right place and are the right size, because you can get leaks. And these bolts are a pain to get at with the saw together. I use a ball end Allen to do that. Without a ball end Allen, you're almost better off just to pull the top end. Here we go. 272 XP is complete. This is a late 1994 model, so it does have the decomp. Chain brake's still got some dirt on it, but this is that saw I got around Christmas. I've been monkeying around with it. This one was missing the handle, recoil, and miscellaneous parts. But the jug was good, so it was blowing up. So I put a meteor piston, new bearings, new seals, gaskets, intake block, rebuilt the carb. That's an old 266 SE recoil on there. The rope's a little short. This is an aftermarket handle. But hey, it's not the most original saw or mintiest saw, but I bet you this thing will cut some wood, and that's the point of my channel. You know, just to show what you can do on a budget. I got this saw pretty cheap as basically parts, and decided to see if I can just cobble it back together. I have not tried to fire this saw yet. Figured I'd take it outside and we could fire it together on video, or not fire it. I don't know what it's gonna do. Did a dual port muffler. I cut the cover back. This cover was broken anyways, so I wouldn't cut a nice cover, but in this case, why not? Dual port muffler. I did port this saw. Pretty tight squish on it. Yeah, this thing should be a hot rod, and it's ugly, so this is the kind of saw that I build because I want this thing to, ride in the bed of my truck when I'm cutting firewood, and and not care if it gets dings and scratches on it. Okay, I'm gonna flip you around and see if we can get this thing to go. I'm gonna set you up right here. I still don't have a case for this phone. There, tilt you down. Sorry for the camera work, folks. Okay, like I said, I have not attempted to fire this saw. I'm going to take the decomp off. Helps if the ignition switch is on. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh geez. Now we'll use the decomp. See if I can get this carb adjusted. Grab a different screwdriver here. She's a little on the rich side. I set this thing up just to be really fat. You notice it's smoking. Lots of oil in the bottom end of this one. Here, let's see what we got now. This thing's got lots of comp. Now she don't want to start. Let's see what we did here. Okay. We'll put the low out to 1 turn. Well, maybe we got a carb issue here. She seems to be a little picky. That's the thing with these saws. I don't know what's been done to this saw, so. see, it restarts easily now. So there you go. That's pretty much my first start. Well, that is my first start. That's my tuning procedure. Sometimes, you know, they're a little finicky the first, 2 or 3 minutes. You just gotta keep them running and let them heat. It's 272 XP running. Don't let the side cover fool you. As you can see there, it's a little bit of a waiting game when you first fire a saw up. This thing wasn't running that well. It was getting a little stumbly and idling funny, and then I couldn't restart it. Well, right there, that's either a bad carb or a tuning issue. Well, in this case, it ended up being a tuning issue. So sometimes you just got to be a little patient and not get worried when your new build doesn't run, especially on a saw like this. This saw is a late 94. It has been used and abused. So I have never run it. I got it blown up. So it's like, and this is a full top to bottom rebuild. So that's usually what I do. I get them built and I fire them up and I let them run a little bit. I blip the throttle just to change the RPM, make sure everything's doing good. I will heat cycle this a couple times. Just get it warm and then shut it off. Get it warm, shut it off. And then I'll put it in the wood. This saw actually didn't turn out too bad. I mean, it's a little bit of a beater, like I said. But I mean, for the money that I'm out to build this saw and how much wood this thing will put in my truck, it's got a still handle on it even. This thing will, if this was your only saw, I mean, damn, that's a fine saw to have, especially ported. So this thing should pull a long bar like it's going out of style. Time will tell. If it's no good, it's no good. But I ported this as warm as my 266 and my 630 are. So it with the extra 6 cc's of displacement, it should be a monster. And who cares what it looks like, right? As long as it cuts wood and it's yours, I say that's the best kind of saw to have. Anyhow, as always, thanks for watching. Take her easy. Oh, and Journey North, I appreciate the shout out, buddy. You're a good man. Take her easy.